The Galactic Council of the Milky Way's most advanced species made a decision they would regret for the rest of time, ending the centuries-long quarantine of Earth. Captain Zaxxon of the Krill Tak piloted his sleek silver shuttle toward the blue-green orb floating in space, a pit forming in his stomach. His mission: meet the humans and assess their space readiness. But nothing could prepare Zaxxon for what he'd find. Graceful towers of steel and glass slicing the sky, hovering vehicles weaving through gleaming cities. Technology the galaxy had never seen, surpassing the Council's best. Earth's president, a striking man named Marcus Riker, greeted Zaxxon with a firm handshake and knowing grin. Riker had waited his whole life for this moment, humanity's moment. The chance to show the galaxy what his species was made of, to take their place among the stars. Failure was not an option. Earth's fate and humanity's future hinged on this first meeting going flawlessly. Zaxxon swallowed hard, hoping the Council hadn't just unleashed an unstoppable force that would devour the Milky Way whole. President Riker stood at the podium, his piercing gaze sweeping across the sea of alien faces in the grand auditorium. The Galactic Council session was about to begin, and tensions were running high. Riker knew that this was humanity's chance to prove their worth and secure their place among the stars. "Esteemed members of the Galactic Council," Riker began, his voice strong and steady, "I come before you today to formally request that Earth be granted a seat on this august body. We have demonstrated our technological prowess and our commitment to peaceful cooperation. It is time for humanity to take its rightful place in the galactic community." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Some nodded in agreement, while others shook their heads and scowled. Ambassador Thrax, the Zorgon representative, rose from his seat, his reptilian features twisted in a sneer. "The humans are too young, too brash," Thrax hissed. "They have not earned the right to sit among us. Their rapid advancement and disregard for tradition threaten the very fabric of our society. We cannot allow them to gain a foothold of influence here." Riker locked eyes with Thrax, refusing to back down. "With all due respect, Ambassador, the humans have earned their place. We have already made significant contributions to the galactic community, sharing our knowledge and technology freely. Is it not the purpose of this council to foster cooperation and growth among all species?" Thrax slammed his clawed fist on the table. "Cooperation, yes, but not at the expense of our way of life. The humans are like a virus, spreading their chaos and disruption wherever they go. They must be contained before it is too late." The auditorium erupted into a cacophony of voices, some shouting in support of Thrax, others defending humanity's right to be heard. Riker stood tall amidst the chaos, his resolve unwavering. "Councillors, please," he called out, his voice cutting through the noise. "We are all here for the same reason, to ensure the continued prosperity and security of the Milky Way. The humans are not a threat, but an opportunity to learn from one another, to grow together, to forge a brighter future for all species." The room fell silent as Riker's words sank in. Some of the councillors nodded thoughtfully, while others remained skeptical. Thrax glared at Riker, his eyes burning with barely contained rage. "Mark my words, human," Thrax growled. "You and your kind will be the downfall of us all. The Zorgons will never accept your kind as equals." Riker met Thrax's gaze, a small smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "We shall see, Ambassador, we shall see." As the council session adjourned, Riker knew that the battle had only just begun. Earth's fate hung in the balance, and he would stop at nothing to ensure that humanity took its rightful place among the stars, no matter the cost. The news of Earth's rejected council application spread like wildfire, igniting a firestorm of anger and resentment among the human population. Protests erupted in cities across the globe, with millions taking to the streets to voice their outrage at the perceived slight. The mood was one of betrayal and disbelief. After all their hard work and contributions, the humans had been spurned by the very galactic community they sought to join. President Riker watched the unrest unfold from his office in the White House, his jaw set in a grim line. He had anticipated this outcome, but it still stung to see his people suffering. He knew he had to act fast to prevent the situation from escalating further. With a heavy heart, Riker activated the secure communication channel and spoke the words that would change the course of human history. Initiate Project Prometheus. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, in a secret facility known only to a select few, a fleet of sleek black warships hummed to life. These were no ordinary vessels. They were equipped with technology that surpassed anything the Galactic Council had ever seen. Plasma cannons, quantum shielding, and faster-than-light engines that could cross the galaxy in a matter of days. The humans had been busy during their centuries of isolation, and now their creations were about to be unleashed upon the unsuspecting galaxy. As the first of the Prometheus-class ships broke through Earth's atmosphere and soared into space, the galactic community watched in stunned disbelief. The sight of the human warships, with their angular lines and pulsing energy signatures, sent shockwaves through the council chambers. Some species reacted with awe, others with envy, but all with a growing sense of unease. Ambassador Thrax was among the first to voice his concerns. "You see," he bellowed, pointing a clawed finger at the view screen, "the humans are a threat to us all. They have been hiding their true power, waiting for the right moment to strike. We must act now to contain them before it is too late." Other council members murmured their agreement, fear and paranoia spreading like a virus through their ranks. The humans had always been an unknown quantity, a wild card in the galactic deck. Now, with their advanced technology and growing military might, they posed a threat to the established order. Captain Zaxxon watched the proceedings with a growing sense of unease. He had seen firsthand the humans' capacity for innovation and progress, and he knew that they could be a valuable ally to the Council. But he also recognized the danger of a new hegemonic power emerging, one that could upset the delicate balance of power in the galaxy. Determined to prevent a full-scale conflict, Zaxxon requested an audience with President Riker. The two leaders met in a secure location, away from the prying eyes of the Council and the media. "President Riker," Zaxxon began, his voice steady but urgent, "I understand your frustration with the Council's decision, but you must see the bigger picture. Unveiling your advanced warships in such a public manner has only served to escalate tensions and fuel fears among the other species. We must find a way to resolve this peacefully before it's too late." Riker leaned forward, his eyes flashing with a mix of anger and determination. "Captain Zaxxon, I appreciate your concern, but you must understand our position. The humans have been patient, we have played by the Council's rules, and yet we continue to be treated as second-class citizens. We will not stand by and allow ourselves to be marginalized any longer. If the Council cannot accept us as equals, then perhaps it is time for a new order in the galaxy." Zaxxon shook his head, frustration evident in his voice. "But at what cost, Mr. President? A war between Earth and the Council would be catastrophic, with millions of lives lost on both sides. Surely there must be another way." Riker stood up, his tall frame casting a long shadow across the room. "I'm afraid the time for talk is over, Captain. The humans will take our place among the stars, one way or another. I suggest you choose your side carefully." With that, Riker turned and strode out of the room, leaving Zaxxon alone with his thoughts. The captain knew he had to act fast to prevent the situation from escalating further, but he also knew that he was facing resistance from both sides. The humans were determined to assert their power, while the Council was too blinded by fear and prejudice to see the potential for cooperation. As Zaxxon made his way back to his ship, he couldn't shake the feeling that the galaxy was on the brink of a new era, one that would be defined by the actions of the humans and their advanced warships. He could only hope that cooler heads would prevail, and that a peaceful solution could be found before it was too late. The Zorgon fleet struck without warning, their warships descending upon human colonies like a swarm of angry hornets. The first colony to fall was New Eden, a thriving agricultural world on the edge of human space. The Zorgon ships, all sharp angles and pulsing red energy signatures, tore through the colony's meager defenses like they were made of tissue paper. Plasma beams sliced through the atmosphere, reducing fields of wheat and corn to smoldering ash. Missiles rained down upon the terrified colonists, their screams drowned out by the deafening explosions. The attack was brutal and efficient, a testament to the Zorgon's centuries of warfare and conquest. But the humans were not caught entirely off guard. Admiral Alexei Novak, the commander of Earth's fleet, had long suspected that the Zorgons would make a move against humanity. He had spent years studying their tactics and strategies, analyzing their weaknesses and strengths. And now, as the distress calls poured in from New Eden and other besieged colonies, Novak knew that the time had come to put his knowledge to the test. The human fleet, led by Novak's flagship, the EAS Prometheus, leaped into action. The sleek black ships, their hulls shimmering with advanced stealth technology, slipped past the Zorgon blockades and struck at the heart of the enemy fleet. Novak was a master of the art of space warfare, and he used every trick in his arsenal to outmaneuver and outgun the Zorgons. He feinted and dodged, drawing the enemy ships into carefully laid traps before unleashing a barrage of plasma torpedoes and quantum missiles. The Zorgon ships, for all their advanced technology, were no match for Novak's cunning and the humans' superior firepower. The Zorgon fleet was decimated, their ships reduced to twisted, burning wrecks drifting in the void. But even as the humans celebrated their victory, the true scope of the conflict began to reveal itself. Across the galaxy, other Council member species began to take sides in the growing war. The Kriltak, longtime allies of the Zorgons, openly declared their support for their reptilian friends. The Kriltak ships, their hulls gleaming with silver and blue, joined the Zorgon fleet in their attacks on human colonies. The Thrax, a species of insectoid warriors, also threw their lot in with the Zorgons, eager for a chance to test their mettle against the upstart humans. But not all of the Council species were aligned against Earth. The Alari, a race of peaceful energy beings, secretly provided aid to the humans, sharing their advanced shield technology and healing techniques. The Vaughn, an ancient and enigmatic species, remained neutral, but there were whispers that they too were growing weary of the Zorgon's aggression and were considering joining the human cause. As the war raged on, Captain Zaxxon found himself caught in the middle of the conflict. As a member of the Council, he was duty-bound to support his fellow member species, even if that meant standing against the humans he had come to respect and admire. But as he watched the carnage unfold, as he saw the toll the war was taking on both sides, he began to question his loyalties. Zaxxon knew that the humans were not perfect, that they had their own flaws and weaknesses, but he also saw in them a spark of something special, a potential for greatness that could not be denied. He had seen their ingenuity, their resilience, their unbreakable spirit in the face of adversity. And he knew that if the war continued on its current path, that potential would be snuffed out forever, lost in the flames of a galaxy-wide conflagration. So Zaxxon made a choice. He reached out to his contacts among the Council species, both those allied with the Zorgons and those sympathetic to the human cause. He met with them in secret, using his position and influence to try to broker a peace deal, to find a way to end the war before it consumed them all. It was a dangerous game he was playing, navigating a web of alliances and betrayals, never knowing who to trust or where the next blow would fall. But Zaxxon was determined to see it through, to find a way to bring the warring factions to the negotiating table. He knew that it would not be easy, that there would be setbacks and obstacles at every turn. But he also knew that the alternative, a galaxy torn apart by endless war and destruction, was too terrible to contemplate. As he sat in his quarters aboard his ship, his head in his hands, Zaxxon could only hope that he was not too late. That somewhere, somehow, there was still a chance for peace, for understanding, for a future where humans and Council species could coexist in harmony. It was a slim hope, a fragile dream, but it was all he had left to cling to as the galaxy burned around him. Admiral Novak stood on the bridge of the East Prometheus, his eyes fixed on the holographic display before him. The Zorgon fleet was massing at the edge of the Sol system, their ships bristling with weapons and their intentions clear. They meant to end this war here and now, to crush humanity beneath their clawed feet once and for all. But Novak had other plans. He had spent months studying the Zorgons' tactics, analyzing their every move and looking for weaknesses. He had fed them false information, lured them into a false sense of security, and now, as they prepared to launch their assault on Earth, he was ready to spring his trap. "All ships prepare to jump on my mark," Novak said, his voice steady and calm. "We'll hit them from behind, catch them off guard." The bridge crew nodded, their faces set with determination. They knew what was at stake here, knew that the fate of their species hung in the balance. "Jump in 3, 2, 1, mark." The human fleet leaped into action, their ships tearing through space like hungry wolves. They emerged from hyperspace behind the Zorgon fleet, their weapons already firing. The Zorgons were caught off guard, their ships scrambling to react to the sudden attack. Plasma beams and quantum missiles tore through their hulls, ripping them apart like tin cans. Novak led the charge, the Prometheus diving into the heart of the Zorgon formation. He could see Ambassador Thrax's flagship ahead, its shields flickering under the onslaught. "Target that ship," Novak barked. "I want Thrax alive, but take out his engines and weapons." The human ships swarmed around the flagship, pounding it with everything they had. Its shields buckled and failed, and Novak could see the fear in Thrax's eyes as he realized that he had been outmaneuvered. "This is Admiral Novak of the Earth Alliance," Novak said, his voice booming over the comm. "Ambassador Thrax, you are hereby ordered to stand down and surrender your ship. Failure to comply will result in your destruction." There was a moment of silence, and then Thrax's voice crackled over the comm, laced with venom and hate. "You may have won this battle, human," he snarled, "but you have not won the war. The Zorgons will never bow to your kind." "The war is over, Ambassador," Novak said calmly. "Your fleet is in ruins and your support among the Council is crumbling. You have no choice but to accept defeat." Thrax's response was a stream of curses and threats, but Novak cut him off with a flick of his wrist. "To take him into custody," he ordered, "and bring his ship into tow. We're going to need it as evidence when we present our case to the Council." As the human ship secured the Zorgon flagship and began to mop up the remaining enemy vessels, Novak allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. They had done it. They had broken the Zorgon's will to fight and proven humanity's strength beyond all doubt. But he knew that the real work was just beginning. President Riker stood before the Galactic Council, his head held high and his voice ringing with authority. "Members of the Council," he said, "for too long humanity has been denied its rightful place among the stars. We have been dismissed, derided, and marginalized by those who fear our potential, but no longer." He gestured to the screens behind him, which showed images of the battle above Earth, of the human ships tearing through the Zorgon fleet like avenging angels. "We have proven ourselves in battle against the greatest military power in the galaxy," Riker continued. "We have shown that we are not to be trifled with, that we will not be pushed around or relegated to the sidelines. We demand to be heard, to be respected, and to be given a seat at this table." There was a moment of silence, and then the council chamber erupted into chaos. Some members shouted their support for Earth, while others demanded that humanity be punished for its aggression. But through it all, Captain Zaxxon remained calm and focused. He had been appointed as Earth's liaison to the Council, tasked with guiding humanity through the treacherous waters of galactic politics. He rose to his feet, his voice cutting through the din like a knife. "Members of the Council," he said, "I understand your concerns. Humanity is a young species, and our ways may seem strange and unpredictable to you. But I have seen firsthand the potential that lies within us, the greatness that we are capable of achieving." He looked around the room, meeting the eyes of each council member in turn. "We are not here to conquer or dominate," he said. "We are here to join you, to work alongside you in the great task of building a better future for all species. We have much to learn from you and much to offer in return. All we ask is for the chance to prove ourselves, to show that we are worthy of your trust and respect." There was another moment of silence, and then the Ilari representative rose to her feet. "I second Earth's motion," she said, her voice ringing with conviction. "Humanity has shown its strength and its character in the face of great adversity. They have earned their place among us." One by one, other council members began to voice their support. The Vorn, the Thrax, even some of the Kriltak began to nod their agreement. And then, at last, the vote was called. The result was overwhelming. Earth would be granted a seat on the council, and humanity would take its place as the most powerful and influential species in the galaxy. As the chamber erupted into applause and cheers, President Riker turned to Admiral Novak and Captain Zaxxon, a smile on his face. "We did it," he said. "We've come so far, and there's still so much more to do, but today we can be proud of what we've accomplished. Today we are truly the masters of our own destiny." Novak and Zaxxon nodded, their own smiles mirroring Riker's. They knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, that there would be challenges and obstacles at every turn, but they also knew that they were ready to face whatever the galaxy had in store. Together, they would lead humanity into a new era of discovery and exploration, of wonder and possibility, and nothing, not the Zorgons or any other force in the universe, would stand in their way. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.